Senator Harris, thank you so much for being on the Tonight Show and coming back to us. I know these are very difficult times and you're very, very busy right now. So I really, really appreciate this. Thank you so much for this.
Good to be with you, Jimmy.
If you don't mind, I'd like to get right to the breaking news today was that the 3 other officers involved with the death of George Floyd have now been charged. What are your thoughts?
As of today, we're one step closer to justice. But, you know, I have long believed, and I think we all know, justice delayed is justice denied. And why it has had to take so long for those other 3 officers to be held accountable has, you know, caused pain for Mr. Floyd's family and the community and all of us who watched that video and are watching what's happening. But thankfully, Keith Ellison, the Attorney General, has taken over the case and is obviously not wasting any time in making sure that justice is delivered to Mr. Floyd's family and to that community and to our country.
What are your thoughts on the administration currently and how they've been dealing with this on top of the pandemic?
I mean, Jimmy, we've got a president of the United States, or at least somebody who occupies that position, who doesn't understand the job and is incapable of performing the job. And most recently, you know, frankly, the words that he speaks are the words not of a president, they're the words of a dictator. I was in DC that night. You know, I joined the protesters in DC.
I saw that.
So I've been out there, you know, and I will tell you that had my parents not marched and shouted in the 60s, I would not have been, together with all those who did, I'm pretty certain that I would not be talking with you tonight as only the 2nd Black woman ever elected to the United States Senate. There are so many things that we as a society have benefited from because people took to the streets to exercise their First Amendment right, to speak out and speak to their government so that we could see progress. And the idea that just a couple of nights ago, this guy, Donald Trump, who happens to right now be president of the United States, would throw tear gas at people who were peacefully protesting so he could clear the roads, right? It reminds me of the emperor with no clothes. So he could clear the roads to walk, to carry the Bible, the Holy Bible. You know, as though it were one of his stakes, one of his Trump stakes for a photo op. And that night, because I was at my apartment in DC, I heard the Black Hawks flying. You know, the last time I was on a Black Hawk? When I was in Afghanistan. These are military aircraft that are being turned on the people of America. He's talking about turning the US military on its own people. I serve on the Senate Intelligence Committee. I serve on the Homeland Security Committee. This is not the America that people fought for. And this is not the America that is the America of our ideals. This is something altogether. And that's why people are marching and shouting. And the optimism that I have is the optimism that all of us have whenever we are in these kinds of fights, which is it's not a fight against something, it's fight for something. But,
wow.
You know, Donald Trump doesn't get it. And that's why everyone's got to make sure that we vote in November and show ourselves and the world that we are better than this.
Speaking of November, I've seen you in numerous interviews saying that it's going to be a very important time in our history.
Yes, it will be.
What are we looking at here in November coming up?
Okay, so first of all, there's so much at stake in the election. I mean, so again, we're in the midst of a public health, we're in a pandemic. We have had over 100,000 souls in just less than 100 days perish, die, right? Millions of people have contracted this virus and are suffering in its grip. We have over 40 million people who were working, who are now unemployed just in the last 100 days because of this pandemic. And one of the things that, I will again say that we would not be in as bad of a situation as we are had the president not taken immediate action, had the president not called it a hoax and minimized the seriousness of it. And we are where we are. So in terms of the election, one of the things that we have to make sure is that people can go and vote and be safe. So I have a proposal, I call it the Vote Safe Act, that basically is that all states should have vote by mail. All states should have early voting at least 20 days before election day, so you can figure out when it works for you to go vote. And all states should also, for people who do go to the polls, have safe precautions, things like curbside voting, or put in place wait times so that, unlike when in Wisconsin people stood in line for 2 to 3 hours, people would only have to stand in line for a certain number of minutes. So these are some of the things that I'm fighting for. In terms of this BS about fraud, listen, Donald Trump spoke the quiet words out loud when he said that he was concerned that he and the Republican Party would lose if people vote by mail. Meanwhile, he himself and I believe family members of his have voted by mail consistently. So the whole thing about fraud in the vote by mail system is really it is a red herring to distract people from the seriousness of this moment, which is that we're in the middle of a pandemic. We want people to be able to be safe when they vote, and we definitely want to make sure that people don't have to make a choice between their health and their right to exercise their voice, especially at this moment in time in our country.
On and on and on. And it's on and on and on.